And welcome back, everybody, to the North American Strikers League West Division. My name is K-Bot. I am joined by Borg. And Borg, we might have had a twist of the turn, but we have arrived at our
We are
final match
here.
of the
Yeah.
evening between the DUBU Strikers and Oxygen Overdrive.
Yeah, we have Oxygen Overdrive with Kiliast in net, Naka, and Snake as the forwards, and soon DUBU Strikers with Reznok in the net, and Gramilla and 3Z Breezy. And I don't believe there's any substitutions. Those should be the rosters for today. Everything's going smooth now, finally back into the swing of things, and I'm actually really excited. I think this game should be fairly close. We have seen soon DUBU Strikers, falter a little bit in the season so far. Not quite finding the wins that we might have been expecting a little bit, but I think a lot of the games that they have played, including their losses, have been incredibly close, right? I still think they have a lot in them, and I do expect them to show up today. And Oxygen Overdrive, thinking the same thing. They're both in the runs for playoffs. I believe they're actually coming in with the same score here. If you not, you can correct me. They're battling for the playoff spot here. This is a serious game here. Whoever wins this game has a increased chance by a very high margin to make playoffs.
I mean, we just rewatched the Goats versus Otaku match. Both those teams currently sit at 2-1-2 with 2 more matches to play. Now we watch Oxygen Overdrive and DUBU, who currently both sit next to each other in the standings at tie for 6, right? Both looking to take the leapfrog over their opponents. You have to imagine here the loser might end up being mostly kicked out of playoffs. Depending on how some things shake out. So getting a win here would be an absolute advantage, and a tie might actually benefit neither of them, all things considered, as they both come in with lower records. So we'll see what ends up happening here as we'll be getting into things in just a moment. But you mentioned DUBU Strikers might have faltered. I am still a DUBU Strikers believer, okay?
Oh,
my argument,
too. Don't get me wrong.
My argument last week was they played their roughest week 1 of any other team in the West. They had to go up against both Best Western and Bounty Hunters as their week 1, and they might have lost both those matches, but then they were able to pick up the tie versus Aesop's Little PogChamps, and were able to pick up a win as well in the interim. So they're coming back the back half of their season. They're thinking in the back of their heads, feels easier probably than the first half of their season, even if a lot of these matches are coming down to the wire with terms of how the standings are actually shaking out.
Yeah, and kind of like you were saying, definitely pretty rough week 1 for them. Not the easiest of matchups, we'll say, with Bounty Hunters, and then off stream with Best Western, obviously, both invited teams to the league, right? So definitely not the easiest, but coming up here, they, against Oxygen Overdrive, and then their off stream game will be played against Otaku, we just saw in the previous recording as well. I wouldn't say necessarily weak teams at all, but not quite the same, as we've been seeing as Bounty Hunters, who are undefeated. But definitely, as we've seen, the league is very close. It's hard to really tell who the favorites and who not are. So I'd like to say, there's a lot of upsets going on, but I can't really tell anymore. I don't know about you.
I mean,
so much going on, as we saw from the last game, and how chaotic all these games and all these series are. It's pretty hard to tell who should win, and I think this one is going to follow suit, to be honest with you.
So many of these have been so close over the course of the entire season so far. Even if, not many of these matches have resulted in ties, still these teams are fighting tooth and nail down to the last goals in order to come away with some of these sets. Again, even in the DUBU Strikers match versus Best Western, I think that one went the distance in 1, if not 2 of those maps, right? Where we're talking 4-set, 5-set marathons of matches that actually probably played to the favor a little bit more of DUBU Strikers as well. Download, get a little bit of VOD reviews in and practices before they start turning around and coming back to things. But let's talk a little bit more about Oxygen Overdrive here, because this is another team still sitting about the middle of the pack. But we were talking a little bit ahead of time, Borg, and you thought these teams had very similar play styles in the matchup versus one.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much kind of quickly going into this, Gramilla and 3Z Breezy, and then Naka and Snake, right? Definitely not the same, but they have very similar playstyles. Snake and 3Z Breezy, kind of both similar, playstyles. Definitely good and known for separate characters, with Snake being that Juliet and 3Z Breezy with that X. But Kilius being their goalie, with Naka and Grimella kind of being the curveball in them, and which midfield will kind of throw a wrench in the other's plan a little bit more. That's kind of what I'm expecting this game to come down to as we're getting into game here on Amy's app, actually. And so I'm expecting a Rasmus ban, and there we go. And
there
the X ban, respect against 3Z Breezy, one of the best X's in the game in total. So we'll have to see what they kind of get going here as we see Era get locked in and Juliet get locked in on the side of Auction Overdrive, and Era get locked in on the side of soon DUBU Strikers.
The Rasmus ban, I think, works double duty, right? Naka's pulled out the Rasmus in numerous instances and has been incredibly strong on that striker. And then you figure, of course, the classic IME zap. You want to be just not even have to worry about thinking about where the Rasmus is on the other side of the pit in the middle. But there it is, locked in here. We see an Atlas coming out, and it feels like, Borg, Atlas has kind of fallen off in popularity as a goalie pick as of late. Why is that?
You know what? I wish I had an answer for you, but I think, and I do have an answer for you if I'm being completely honest with you. I think Atlas is still incredibly strong. We see Barcode in the East League kind of still showing off with it, still kind of taking names with that pick. Incredibly good defensive goalie. And we have also seen the DUBU come in here too, which I think is a bit of a flavor of the month character. As 3Z just immediate level 2 now, dash punching off the map. And I'm expecting to see a good power play here from the side of soon DUBU Strikers. And there we go. And we have the goal. And just to quickly finish my point, I think the reason is we like, with the meta right now, there's a lot of aggressive goalies that are coming into play to abuse a lot of these trainings like Stinger and like Adrenaline Rush. And so that's definitely coming into favor.
As a reminder, folks, the starter trainings were Castellast and Stacks on Stacks, which we got to see on the starter screen there. But those will also probably come into play. And hey, look, the Atlas gets a little bit of extra speed to start things off as well. And you have to imagine comes out with that healing as well, as these forward combinations are something there that we're known for. And of course, we've seen numerous instances across this league with Breezy and Grimella teaming up on this Era Juliet combination. Been a very staple composition for them, is now core flip in front of the net. That'll get denied by Naka. Beautifully done by the midfielder, rotating back and be able to cover all possible flip angles coming in there, but he'll still get punished for it as 3Z Breezy saves the dash punch for that moment there. Grimella buys some time, waits for the Maelstrom to come through, and still looking to get in position. A nice expanse used out of Kilius there, and it'll still buy enough time for Naka to come on back online, but again, the core flip comes through, and they pass forward to 3Z Breezy to send it back.
Yeah, and really kind of what we're seeing here is just the forward duo on the side of soon DUBU Strikers is just completely outplaying Auction Overdrive. We have Grimella just getting those cast-slash shrinks on Snake, as we see right there. Every single time off of cooldown, Snake just cannot play the game. Whereas 3Z Breezy, on the other hand, finding a lot more space, finding a lot more KOs, as Snake completely proves me wrong, Caster's Curse, and just says, screw you, I can do it too, gets that dash punch right into the net.
Unfortunate there, Reznok doesn't have any get out of jail free cards. You see that energy bar so close to being there for Reznok to get that energy burst, but didn't have it that time around. And of course, doesn't have the expanse or something similar. And that Juliet dash is just going to come right down your throat if you're not careful. So while the Drakkar very useful there to start sending that core forward back to the other side, also has potential to get stuffed if you get caught off guard without your cooldowns online.
Yeah, completely there. I mean, the strength of Drakkar is to kind of keep the core forward with that strike shot, with that shotgun, with both charges of that. As we see actually a KO there onto 3Z, so they're on full defense trying to keep it away from Snake as they do lose their barrier there. Great play there from Snake and Naka to find that core flip. Perfect pass to Snake to just get it right in the net there.
The intervention as well comes out. Not that Reznok or Grimella particularly would end up going for the KO, but even to dissuade it further, right? As you imagine, Snake rather low, almost there close to the edge, might have been thinking for the KO, but still dissuaded and able to get in position. Healed up just a little bit in order to try to come on back from that one. But now, immediate power play back the other direction as the soon DUBU Strikers might be trying to strike right back. It's 2-2 here in this first set. The goal barrier is already down. Grimella looking looking for the forward on up here. Projection able to come out here, and Kilius, but now this is where Atlas is at its weakest. No cooldowns at his disposal for now, but a clear angle still comes through. Try to find the knockout on a Threezy Breezy. Now the weak Maelstrom buys enough time for the core flip to come through out of Grimella, and the soon to be Strikers will take the first set.
Yeah, beautiful play there from Grimella, actually, to dribble, kind of find those two redirects off the top of the map there, off those barriers, to just try to set up his tornado, gets the Maelstrom out completely, gives him enough time and space, farms up that core flip, and just puts it in the top corner. So beautiful play there, and he gets rewarded with the prime time on Era. I'm expecting Snake to just never be able to play this game. He's going to be shrunk after shrunk after shrunk. It's going to be very difficult for him to play here.
I mean, you have to imagine picking up the prime time, denying it from like every other striker up here. You see the chrono boost picked up by Reznok here as well. Sounded like you had a thought there with the ability for that Drakkar to start moving a little bit further and faster around the map.
So it's not so much as the Chrono Boost is good on Drakkar, which it is, don't get me wrong, but you're actually denying their Era the Chrono Boost. And with Cassilas being on the board, Cassilas and Chrono Boost both buffing those debuffs, you know, on the side for the primary on Era. Grimella is going to be doing a lot more now with that side of the primary than Naka, I believe, with just the trainings.
Fortunate way the cookie crumbles this time around, as now Maelstrom comes out, and still possession mostly over to the soon-to-be Strikers. They might have given away a goal barrier, but now Threezy Breezy able to find a KO there onto Naka, and now Reznok's starting to get involved. There's a Bewitching Beam comes out, but Snake finds one into response right back on a Threezy Breezy. Might have been getting a little overzealous there, but nonetheless, now looking for this opportunity in order to find the passes coming through. Forward to Snake here. Reznok still able to send it away up to the top side of the map where there was no one there. Maelstrom comes through. Snake dashes forward. XDDD after the core flip. Unfortunately, not quite what you want to see, but the important part perhaps is having a little bit of humor about it, I imagine.
Yeah. And then as Reznok just shotgun to the face, just right onto Snake, you know, no Atlas ult there to save him, I believe. And as we see Threezy kind of take the orb and get his health bar back up, we'll see the power play here. Grimella kind of keeping control of it with Reznok to try to get it to Threezy, but steps a little bit too far forward in that Atlas expanse. Just redirects it, finds the perfect bounce to the top corner of soon DUBU Striker's net.
Auction Overdrive going to be able to take the first goal there, and you know, this Atlas can also get involved from time to time as well, you know, starting to go a little bit further forward, especially when we're talking about just how far that primary is going to start going, which is considered a projectile, gets buffed there as well on that distance. So we'll certainly be looking out to see just how involved Kilius is going to get, especially when you figure that primary can cover a decent chunk of one of these halves of the map.
Yeah, and with this map kind of being so condensed, and as we see there, the Expanse kill, actually, rare Atlas KO into the middle of Amy's app right there. I mean, Atlas can definitely do things too. This map is definitely pretty condensed. There's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of times where the Atlas abilities, especially if he gets hot shot or things that will increase the speed there, or being in overtime, finding that just the speed on the core or just the quick KOs, as we find two right there, quick KOs, as we say it. And I'm expecting kind of Threezy and Reznok and Snake to be at an advantage here, just getting rid of the abilities to stall out for their midfielder, as we see right there.
Watch Threezy's dribbling there, continuing to buy out time, realizes that there's probably a decent advantage here when Grimella is up, and now you see the Expanse down for Kilius as well, does still have core flip at his disposal as well, but neither goal barrier has fallen so far. Threezy tries to punch this core in, and finally will find the strike angle to do just that. Reznok is getting rather involved as well on the lower side of the pitch, keeping the pressure up and alive, but now looks like we'll be forced to retreat back as Threezy Breezy was dinged up a little bit much, but Grimella still there, capitalizing when that core falls right to his hands.
Yeah, and with it being overtime, just keeping the, you know, keeping that momentum, that's what I'm thinking of, keeping the momentum of the core, that speed up to just get it right into the top shelf. Nothing, you know, Kilius can do on that Atlas, just no abilities there to actually keep that out of his net. So definitely really good play there from Grimella to secure that goal.
I think now it's going to be rather low on Stagger, trying to get into position here, but continues to get bullied away. not going to have a lot at his disposal. You see the intervention come out, but it's not enough to save you there. The fiery flurry connects out of 3Z Breezy, and now this core drifts to the other side of the pitch. Dash comes through, doesn't quite connect with things, and now able to sneak it right around Kilius. Now waiting for the dribble here, but Naka's able to send that one away as well. Now 3Z Breezy, though, still trying to keep up the pressure and just slips it right by. That'll be another goal on the board for the DUBU Strikers.
Yeah, beautiful shot there, and he actually stepped up a little bit and then feigned that punch onto Kilius to think, hey, I might be shooting up here. Kilius walks up that micro step, just one step, and it just gives Breezy enough space to hit it right through and just get perfect shot placement, honestly, right in the bottom corner. And one thing I'm seeing there, as 3Z gets just absolutely destroyed by the Snake dash punch there, is take a look at Grimella this set, right? Grimella's applying so much control, as we see right here, winning every single strike war, keeping Snake Shrunk off a cooldown, you know, dribbling, buying time for 3Z to do what 3Z does best. And just once he gets those cooldowns, as we see here, they're denying 3Z now, doing exactly what they need to do to not, you know, make Grimella's efforts in vain almost.
Power play opportunity here for Auction Overdrive, but they're not able to find necessary in order to find the goal here. Now core flip comes out of Grimella, but it still gets saved out by Kilius and Naka, who are still teaming up on the other side here. Core flips exchange. The core will get sent flying here. Now a weird bounce here. Might be back on over to the possession of the DUBU Strikers. Grimella looking forward, trying to find 3Z Breezy, who gets shrunk in the interim. And the pressure might collapse for now, but there's Reznok with a Molten Bolt, sends it forward, secures the goal barrier for the Strikers. Grimella starts to pass it forward. 3Z going to get stunned by the Atlas Primary, and now there's the Expanse burned as well, but it's another power play for the DUBU Strikers. 3Z Breezy is core flip as well. Going to be looking for this when the strike shot comes through. Naka's still back, but there's 3Z Breezy able to knock the rest of the members back with the energy burst and send it right on through. The DUBU Strikers take their second set.
And they're cooking, man. They're really, I mean, like I was talking about earlier, Grimella is just keeping so much control with the help of Reznok in those Drakkar shotgun shots and just keeping control of the core, not letting Oxygen Overdrive actually be able to do what they want to do, right? And get control of that core. And they just can't do it. Grimella's getting so much value out of his strikes every single time he touches the core, just buying so much time for 3Z to come back, get the position that he needs to do to actually score. With right there as he gets the core flip, and it's a perfect shot in the goal. And as we look at this draft real quick here, I've seen the Stagger Swagger onto 3Z, which will help him live a lot more, and then aerials on that Drakkar. We see extra special on the Naka, so possibly Naka will have having some more, you know, more tornadoes. Maybe he'll find a couple more impactful ones. We'll have to see here. I should be expecting him to use it a lot more frequently, so we'll have to see how that plays out.
But look, Grimella takes both primary abilities, right? Now has both the prime time and the popcorn as well to boot. You got all of your movies and television there, but
you got the rapid fire.
Nonetheless here, that Bewitching Beam was going to be coming out so often. And you see even Snake probably hurting for a little bit of damage, wanted to take Stinger as the third pick out of that carousel in order to try to pick up something even a little more to make this game easier, find a few more KOs, and alleviate some of this pressure away coming out here. Now, Bewitching Beam comes out here. 3Z Breezy still able to keep up the pressure there, cause enough chaos in front of the goal for the DUBU Strikers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Snake was shrunk more than he was not that round. I'm not even kidding. I kind of want to look back at that after this cast. I'm going to rewatch this VOD and see. But it just seems like almost a huge draft difference with the Awakenings on the side of DUBU Strikers. They're giving Grimella everything he wants. Literally everything he wants, you know. Didn't deny that rapid fire as he was not first pick, so they definitely could have denied it. But they didn't deny that rapid fire, and now they're going to pay the price for it by just being tiny every single 2 seconds. And you can see actually from Grimella's point of view here, as we had a loading screen bug, so we do get to see his point of view. Look how fast that cooldown is coming back up on that rapid fire. As oh my gosh, the KO onto Atlas from 3Z. Jesus.
Now in position, looking for the pass forward from Grimella, still trying to shove it forward, but enough the members are around for Oxygen Overdrive. Snake and Naka still sitting back there on the back lines. And now Grimella trying to send this one around. Grimella does have core flip at his disposal. Now 3Z looking to send the pass up. Nice, waits out the Expanse, but doesn't strike it away in time. The Fiery Flurry comes out of Snake. in order to save that one. Now 3Z Breezy comes over, collects the KO. Grimella down to 3Z. Now looking to pass this one back and forth. Interruption out of Naka just temporarily. And now the Bewitching Beam shrinks both Naka and Kilius in one go. Beautiful strike, though, out of Kilius to just keep this out of the net for a little while longer. But 3Z Breezy collects yet another KO. Expanse burned out of Kilius. Finally, the goal barrier is going to fall. Might not mean much, though. Strike Shot going to save things temporarily. Passing play is still trying to connect here for the DUBU Strikers as they try to put this one back. But pretty soon, Kilius is going to have another Expanse at his disposal. But there it finally comes through. The dash for 3Z Breezy. And that'll put the DUBU Strikers over to match point.
Yeah, and I mean, just it feels like every single time 3Z has Dash Punch up, someone is dying, or the core is getting the barrier. Someone, abilities are being wasted and being used on that. He's just so efficient with his abilities here. It's really scary to watch here, just KO after KO. I'm excited to see the stats after this game because this just seems like an absolute stomp here. Like, it's honestly kind of weird to see because I was expecting this to be a close one, but with the trainings and as we see just the power and the pressure that Grimella and 3Z are putting here, the Oxygen Overdrive can't breathe. You'd think they would with their name, but we'll have to see.
Now, you see power play opportunity here, though, as it was Grimella that was sent off of the pitch, down the pit in the middle. Snake trying to core flip, trying to find this barrier, but can't find the angle past Reznok, who's able to utilize the shotgun, lock and load to his fullest disposal. And now trying to dash forward even still. You see the energy burst come through with 3Z Breezy sends it right back the other way. And it's a quick 3-0 victory for the DUBU Strikers over Oxygen Overdrive, taking the first map.
Yeah, that was not what I expected that game at all. I expected it to be a little back and forth. I think these players are very, very similar in skill. Playing them in solo queue, it feels like, from my point of view at least, it should have been a very, very close game, but I think with the training difference, with the 9 KO on 3Z Breezy, he had 3 more than Snake there. Snake finding KOs of himself, obviously, too. Still playing well. It's hard to play when you're getting shrunk by Primetime Rapid Fire era with Castellas as well. And the fact that their era didn't get Chrono Boost, didn't get Rapid Fire, didn't get Primetime, I mean, it just felt like an awakening difference there.
And Porg, I mean, I kind of brought this up in chat earlier, and I'm curious to hear your take as well, because the more I look at things where you see even forward mirror matches, where you've got the same forwards looking for the same awakenings, you have to imagine that picking yourself into a mirror matchup is kind of a flip of the coin in terms of trying to get yourself ahead early in some of these first few sets, getting yourselves the awakenings that you really want on some of those early carousels. Otherwise, it might be screwed and it might be over for you. I mean, what are your thoughts here as you start looking towards maybe the future of this game, as we start thinking about what compositions these teams are going for? I mean, the mirror match doesn't seem like it's the play for me all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the fact and how the awakening system works now, in beta, if people are not aware, you actually chose your awakenings. They were actually called trainings back then. You chose them before the game. You chose 3 of them and you go and load it into the game. So mirror matchups are really, really common. As the meta was figured out, it was pretty much the same comps over and over again. But, in release now, if you play, like you mentioned, K-Bot, the same comps being played, we're actually going to see a lot of awakening and kind of RNG almost dependent on these games, right? So if we see sort of like an infinite on a really strong awakening here, it's going to be very helpful for both teams there. So I think a lot of players actually like that for the fact that, make it so awakening or ultimate awakenings, don't actually mean as much, right? Because, everyone's getting the same thing. However, you still have to keep in mind the 7 other awakenings on that board. And if you get first pick and you get your best in slot, that's taking away the enemy team's best in slot as well. So I definitely do agree with you. I think as there more characters are released and as we kind of see this game grow and evolve, we're going to see a lot more, I guess, comp answers and counter picks rather than similar, play styles here. But I think a lot of players are still drafting kind of what they're comfortable with. And a lot of players, as we've seen, are comfortable with the same things. So we'll have to see how it progresses in the future. And as we actually see 1 pick difference here, we get the era instead of the Amy, instead of the era out of the side of, it's actually an Amy goalie here. And then we get
Amy goalie, Rasmus comes out.
Okay.
Of
Rasmus
both sides.
Yeah. This is going to be a little bit more interesting, I think, K-Bot.
Sounds like it. As far as I'm concerned, at least going back and looking at as many of the DUBU Strikers VODs as I could find, 3Z has not picked up the Rasmus yet in NASL. So this will be a debut striker for him. We'll see if he's able to put on just as much of a showing, which, by the way, while the Juliet might have been panned away, the X was still up. Trainings were Bulk Up and Orb Ponderer there off of the start. But even still, I mean, both Gold Barriers down pretty quickly. While a lot of these characters are low on health, it seems like the soon-to-be strikers kind of off to an early lead in terms of asserting themselves and a lot of what they want to do in terms of trying to set things up.
Yeah, a lot of this game is going to come down to which Rasmus can find the KO confirm, can find that play to secure a goal, because, you know, Amy and the Drakkar are kind of both similar characters. Drakkar a little bit more focused on that control and focused on, you know, keeping that core forward, while Amy kind of more focused on that damage and on that pressure. As we see right there, you know, the dash could not quite, or excuse me, the Amy Blink could not quite hit that core as well as 3Z. Just hits 3Z. 3Z has the time to kind of hit that core right past Kiliast. And then, honestly, I mean, a good opportunity taken advantage of by 3Z there.
It was actually, I think, Reznok knocked forward and helped out with that goal as well with a shotgun.
Yeah.
So able to come in and again continues to play a little bit more aggressively, especially when you've got one of those gold barriers up. And now Grimella gets sent off the map. Very quickly going to pay the price here. And now Reznok again as well going to lose a gold barrier there. Now Glitch Pop beautifully placed by Kiliast in order to send that goal back here. And hey, look, if you didn't have as much forward presence with that Atlas, now switching over to the Imi, you're certainly going to have a little bit more tools at your disposal to start securing some of these goals and securing some of these barriers.
Yeah, and with that extra strike shot range from the Amy, you're going to be seeing that Glitch Pop go pretty much the entire map, right? It's definitely something that is being looked at by the devs right now as a very problematic thing, but we're going to see it being abused here by Kiliast to the best of how he can abuse it. And we'll see. I mean, they're set up for success. We'll have to see if the Amy will matter too much as we see Naka just get sent absolutely off the map to enemy Drakkar. Reznok having a little bit of a I'm the better Drakkar moment than you, and we'll see if the power play will mean anything here, K-Bot.
We'll see. You know, sometimes that's what happens when the gravity well spawns. It spawns, it catches you off guard, 5 people go flying off the map, and you're the one that gets sent off because you were lowest health. Ow, oh no! Gonna be another one flying off. That's Snake for Oxygen Overdrive, and a power play opportunity here for the soon-to-be strikers. They look for the passing play, able to find that last goal barrier. Core flip comes out, but the Imi turret still able to send things away. Snake snipes it through, though. Not able to get with the right angle in order to redirect that one away. And it'll be the soon-to-be strikers getting back on up here. They're looking to go ahead and go forward. Head again with some earlier awakenings onto this first carousel.
Yeah, and I mean, this first set is really going to matter here because as we see, oh wow, amazing Maelstrom here. You know, 3Z hits the stagger off, puts him in the corner of that map, and that Maelstrom just absolutely takes him off completely. And now a little bit more XP on the side of Grimella. So if they do get this next point, we will see Grimella the era with that first pick. And I think, as I was saying there earlier with that point, this first set's going to matter incredibly as we see, you know, not complete the same comps, but fairly similar comps and fairly similar awakenings are going to be helping them. So we'll have to see who can actually secure those awakenings with that early pick.
I mean, you figure, right, both Rasmuses going to want the same thing. And Reznok and Naka might want slightly different things, the forward versus the goalie, but realistically, come on, it's still Drakkar. He wants his shotgun to go as far as it can and be as large as possible as well in the interim. Now, you see, passing play backward will misfire, as it looks like the Glitch Pop was able to interrupt things and now just barely bounces off of the wall, sending us to overtime. Soon-to-be strikers get away with one here, as now pressure starting to come forward from Oxygen Overdrive. Naka trying to send this one back, but again, shotguns and members traded as it's a 2-for-2 out of the gravity well. Snake's gonna sneak up though and slip that one by as well. It's another 2-2 set, goal 5 here. And again, this one's critical as we start looking towards this first carousel.
Yeah, Grimella runs right into that black hole. Not sure if that was intended or not. You'd think, you know, maybe I'll run in, get a trade kill on the Naka, and it'll be a little easier for us to, you know, stall out as they were lower on health bars, but not quite, you know, what he was looking for there. As both goal barriers actually go down for the side of soon-to-be strikers, this is a perfect opportunity for Oxygen Overdrive to finish, and as they do, Snake with a beautiful pendulum swing to secure that goal in the top shelf. I don't believe Reznok had any shotgun charges left to save that, so definitely beautiful, beautiful play there.
Well done, and now we head on over to our first carousel. You see both the Drakars coming in first. Probably looking to deny something away from Reznok. It's going to be heavy impact gets picked up, but Aerials still left up for Reznok here as well. Got to be pretty happy with that trade.
Yeah, I mean, both very, very good. Heavy Impact going to help him with those cooldowns. Aerial's going to be helping with that range. I honestly think the Aerials is a little bit better for the goalie because he can walk up a little farther. But, you know, I'm not personally a Drakar player, so I'm not sure which one is valued a little bit more. They're both, on the end of the day, very, very good. Another thing to look at here is actually Grimella with that Stagger Swagger. So I'm expecting him to honestly run into the black hole a lot more than you'd think because he can take that damage, deal damage to other people, and then just heal it right back up, as we saw right there. He went down to 1 HP, and he's already back to full.
I'll be looking to try to make a play up here, but Threezy Breezy also low on health, doesn't have Stagger Swagger, and Reznok actually getting involved. It's like Naka's going on a mission there with that Drakar, trying to get Threezy Breezy down and potentially knocked off of the map, but Grimella still has possession of the core, at least for now. Reznok able to send that one away as Naka's not able to capitalize. Threezy still really low, doesn't want to go forward, and now is staggered. Not going to be able to go forward here and make a play. It's all Grimella. Reznok looking for the pass forward, but can't find it there. This era doesn't quite have that stuffing tool until this Maelstrom comes back up, but a nice glitch pop dodges the bullet from Kiliast. And now you see the patience. Both these players waiting for their opponents to strike first. And it looks like it will be sent away by Kiliast nonetheless. We are now finally, by the way, Threezy Breezy was taken off the map after all of that happened. And now that Gravity Well will burst. Members on rather low health on both sides. Molten Bolt comes out as it looks to take these players even further lower in health. And now you see Grimella start to move forward again. Threezy Breezy also looking to get in position, but they still seem to find the connection here. Imi Turret comes out, doesn't find it there. Grimella barely saved by the corner now as the energy burst comes out of Snake to try to find this one, but he gets KO'd in the process as well. Grimella with that Stagger Swagger is back up to about half health here and has both energy bursts at their disposal. Those will get traded back and forth. Glitch Pop again comes out, disrupts, interrupts for a little while longer. The Gravity Well comes out yet again, and these players are still flying all across the map, and they're so spread out. They haven't been able to find these tight coordinated passing plays, and now it's Grimella's turn to go down. Threezy Breezy also still incredibly low. Potential power play opportunity coming in here as the passes up off the top wall, but Reznok with a core flip trying to send it back. Kiliast has to stay alive back there and will do so, but the strike shot comes in from Reznok to secure the goal. Finally, it comes through.
An absolute carnage there that round. I mean, black hole after black hole. Every time it spawned, someone was getting KO'd. Absolutely every single time. And you saw, you know, Grimella surviving as long as possible. Only went down once that time. You know, everyone else was dying a few times. Grimella able to survive for the most part. And I think that's kind of, in the end, what made the difference. You know, pretty random goal, I'd say, at the end. A little bit of a slip up from the goalie, a little bit of slip up on that positioning. But just absolute carnage here in that round. And we'll have to see, you know, as Grimella and Threezy are now at a man advantage and see if they can secure that power play to get the second goal of the sets. Great save from Kiliast. Great shrink onto Snake there. And Threezy, perfect opportunity to find a shot here. We'll have to see if they can get the goal. And as now, everything's looking a little bit cooler as the Drakaro hits 3 people. This round is crazy. I can't even pass it over. And now Threezy with the core onto Reznok. Should be passing it down here to Grimella. Snake and Naka, excuse me, just low, cannot get themselves a part of this play. And Threezy trying to look for a KO here.
Gravity Well, bubble, burst. Grimella looking to pass it forward, but Threezy Breezy can't find the pendulum swing this time around. Still trying to keep up the pressure there. Is now Grimella still down there. Imi Turret in the way, preventing the pass to come through. And now it falls back to Reznok, who still has both barriers, will concede one for now, but will be looking to keep the second. As both Snake and Naka are up here, they're just playing ping pong off the top corner. The Imi Turret comes through, slips out of the Gravity Well there. I haven't seen that interaction, and now it falls right through. Reznok credited with his second goal in this set, as now the DUBU Strikers looking to take a set right back despite how close that first one was.
Yeah, and actually I think what happened there was the glitch pop from that Amy actually with the overtime speed hit it right back into his own goal there, obviously with the help and the momentum of that Molten Bolt from the side of the Reznok there on Drakar. And then already finding the first barrier here. Grimella looking a little worse for wear, but has that Stagger Swagger to heal up. Snake actually the one taking the brunt here. Finds the KO, or 3Z, excuse me, finds the KO onto Snake. A man-up advantage, and we're kind of seeing the same thing again, over and over again, you know. Soon DUBU Strike is able to find these more consistent kills, more consistent barriers, and get these power plays, and actually convert off of them.
Trying to convert here, but not this time around. It might, though, very quickly be back to the side of Oxygen Overdrive as 3Z Breezy gets sent back to the red pitch. Grimella looking to step forward, though, and finds the Bewitching Beam. I was not expecting that with how many people were around, but Grimella takes the shot anyway, puts it back. The Soon DUBU Strikers have equalized the set score.
Yeah, and I mean, perfect dribble off the top part of the map there to get it back, finds it through 3 people with the shrink. You know, they all kind of converged onto one spot, and no one was there to back it up. And I mean, honestly, beautiful play by Grimella. And as we get into the draft here, we'll get Reznok with the hot shot, kind of denying it as well from anyone else that would want it there. Monumentalist on the Amy goalie, very strong awakening here. 3Z with the ad rush. It actually is going to be infinite here, so I'm expecting the Snake takes it as well, and the missile prop for the tornado as well with I'm not sure. I believe, you know, honestly, that was probably the best he could have taken there. It's definitely, you know, fairly guaranteed value he's going to get there. I don't think he wanted the Adrenaline Rush, as it's fairly rare to find these tornado kills. So we'll have to see how well each Rasmus can find these Adrenaline procs and what will who will make use of it better.
One goal barrier going down on both sides, but the other thing I want to point out, right, Grimella takes away the missile propulsion from Naka, right, as that last pick on the Jakar as well. Does now hit, like, I think that is probably about the tiniest you're going to see the shotgun out of a Jakar. Not going to have the full map presence that you really want there, especially while you're trying to play forward on this Jakar. Now, we see things slow down temporarily, get stalled out in the top corner as these teams are fighting for this. Kilias, though, forced to burn the core flip in order to save that one. Wouldn't have gotten there in time and definitely wants to keep this barrier on up. Snake and Naka trying to pass it to one another. Keep possession of the core as 3 of the members of the Soon DUBU Strikers are all around. Snake starts to lunge forward, trying to find a little bit more damage, trying to find even a knockout on the 3Z Breezy, but it doesn't happen that time around. And even still, Reznok able to keep the defensive pressure up here. Not buckling as of yet. Now, here comes the Ivy turret, met with the Maelstrom, going the other direction as well. Back down over to Snake here. Core flip comes out. Reznok still disciplined, has so many tools at his disposal to send the core right back away. And another Ivy turret comes out, but it doesn't prevent the goal barrier from falling. Now, Reznok up to 3Z, looking for this one. Doesn't quite get it with Death's Grasp, but gets it with the pendulum there. Sends it on back. And again, we're going on like a 4-goal unanswered streak for the Soon DUBU Strikers. Oxygen Overdrive's got to find something. They've got to find it soon.
Yeah, Soon DUBU actually just finding their momentum here, finding their footing, you know, getting that forward pressure here. I think the big difference here, like you were kind of talking about earlier, is the fact that Naka doesn't have any shotgun lane range, right? So they're kind of just keeping it away from Naka, keeping it away out of his shotgun range, and Reznok just beating him to the punch every time, as we kind of see here. Both using their core flip here, kind of keeping it 1-for-1. Reznok and 3Z gonna probably get it out of here. Grimella just healing up with that Stagger Swagger, and Snake looking a little vulnerable here, K-Ba. I'm expecting him to get focused down here very, very soon, as we see the core flip by Grimella actually to secure it. 3Z will not be getting the adrenaline rush, excuse me, proc from it, but they're still a man up. Naka is still broken, no energy. This should be kind of wraps here. We'll have to see if they can secure the power play.
Haven't been able to yet. 3Z Breezy, though, able to extend the power play for a little while longer, as now it's Naka taken off of the map. Looking for the pass here. Good interruption by Kilias, and now the turret comes out as well. Reznok looking to keep the pressure here and does just that. Bewitching Beam doesn't connect this time around, but Kilias is rather low on the back line. Cyber Swipe coming in. You have to imagine just one ability would send Kilias back, and that's probably what 3Z Breezy is looking, but it's still rather low on his own health bar. Tries to lurch forward here, but a nice Imi turret sends this one on away. And again, those two continue trading as the goal barrier still stands for Reznok on the blue side of the pitch. 3Z Breezy now with possession of the core. Grimella looks to send it back, but that one also gets sent on away with a little help from Naka as well. Finally, this goal barrier falls. Naka looking for the pass forward here, and the Ivy turret trying to come in as well. Core flip sent right on over to Naka to keep up the pressure, and now this one's going to go right on back around the gravity well. All of that pressure is going to be for naught for now as it drifts back on over to the red side of the pitch. Reznok now on over to Grimella, but 3Z Breezy's rather low, trying to retreat, trying to stay alive. Can't quite seem to find the exact angle that he wants, but it doesn't matter. The pendulum swing comes through. 5 unanswered goals.
Yeah, and 3Z with that build different, actually, with that size increases the range of that pendulum swing to find that kill. If it was not for the build different there, the size, he definitely would not have gotten in range of that. So definitely very good, very well played by 3Z there. But, I mean, we're seeing the same thing, right? Grimella with those era debuffs, with that stagger swagger, they're not able to find very many kills here, as 3Z is the only real target they can really see. So Naka and Snake, I keep mixing their names together. Maybe that's their forward duo name. But, they're kind of getting outpaced here, at least in terms of the stagger bar, excuse me, and the health. You know, not really able to find a lot of leads here and a lot of power plays. So we'll have to see if they can actually get a power play here, as they're getting a lot of pressure on. Both Go Bears already down for the side of DUBU Strikers, and Auction Esports kind of looking like, you know, finding a little bit of a lead here for the first time all game.
Grimella had to be the one to send that one away for the DUBU Strikers. That would have gone in otherwise, but the final strike came through. Now, strike war right there. Reznok opts for the shotgun, but doesn't send it out in time. And Snake finally breaks the streak here for Auction Overdrive. They've got to try to crawl back in this one now.
Yeah, and I mean, Auction Overdrive needed that goal. They really needed to find their footing back in this game, and now, you know, hopefully that gives them a little bit more confidence to come back, apply that pressure, maybe get 3Z off the board, find those kills, find those barriers. And as I'm saying that, they're just kind of getting plowed here through by 3Z and Grimella, just keeping control of the core. Both goal barriers down, and now Kilius kind of worse for wear. Not much energy, not many cooldowns here as the Amiel comes out, so keeping it stable for now, but they're going to have to find a goal barrier here soon.
Come on, man. Reznok should not be allowed to keep hitting things at the midfield line and have that much of a presence on this Drakkar, but that's exactly what he's doing with the aerials and with that strike shot as well, continuing to keep up the pressure here. Now around the gravity well, on up to Grimella, looking for the pass over to 3Z, but Grimella also has to play to his own life. Doesn't want to go down now as the Ami turret comes out. 3Z can't seem to find an angle to put it past there, and now pulls it back on in. That's Snake looking to try to turn this one around. Naka can't quite seem to find the angle there against Reznok, and now finally, oh, what an angle to pick up that one, and a beautiful shot to try to send that one back from Reznok, but no, it's not going to be able to get cleared away, and there it is. Finally, 3Z Breezy sends it back. The DUBU Strikers will still win the set. Auction Overdrive took a goal there. Got to try to find some confidence if they want to try to stay alive here.
Yeah, beautiful play there from 3Z, actually, to ult, get that hook on that core, and with the hot shot I believe he has, and with overtime as well, it doesn't even matter. Finds it, the bottom corner, no one's there, no Amy abilities as the Amy ult just went down. And looking into the draft here, we actually see Reznok deny the Timeless Crater. He's not getting anything out of that training, but he is denying it from the Amy. I'm not sure if that was quite the right play, as Amy still has Stinger up, but I do think the Timeless Crater is very strong on Amy there. Definitely, you know, a little bit scary, and we do see Naka denying the Castellas from the Grimella as well. I think, honestly, Auction Overdrive had the advantage there on that, on that draft there. I think for the first time this game, actually, really this series, they finally get a little bit of a break, find some good trainings, and we'll see if they're able to convert it into some goals.
It feels like so many of those picks were takeaway picks, right? It was, you didn't want another player to have the Stinger. You didn't want another player to have Castellas. You didn't want so many of those awakenings to fall in the places where things are. And to some extent, that might, you know, kind of benefit DUBU Strikers. If they've been winning a lot of these points so far, then might as well keep things exactly where they are and try to deny a lot of those awakenings away. And now weird little interaction here as the ellipse orbit of the core, and nobody wants to be the one to set it in. Finally, action will resume here, but it's up to the favor of the Auction Overdrive. No, couldn't quite seem to put it away. Naka trying to go up the Snake and trying to pull it back in, but no. Now Kilius also trying to get involved. There's the Ivy turret as well, and all three members get involved in the goal. Snake gets credit for it, and Auction Overdrive gets ahead in this set.
Yeah, and actually we saw there, as they were watching the core dance around the the gravity well, the black hole, whatever you want to call it. Grimella actually taking that advantage to hit it into the black hole and break it. But that in turn putting a lot more pressure onto Reznok there, so not quite, you know, what we wanted to see there as Grimella gets broken here, has to play his life, has that stagger swagger, will be able to stabilize here soon as we see Snake trying to find the kill, a little bit risky there as it goes around the goal barrier, Reznok just barely being able to save that.
Keeping her alive for now is the exact important part of this. Kilius doesn't get the energy burst out in time, and one gold barrier will fall there. Naka able to find a KO onto 3Z Breezy, though. Power play opportunity here for Oxygen Overdrive. Snake able to use the pendulum swing, passed right back to himself. And now the glitch pop tries to come out, but it's intercepted by Grimella. Gravity Well comes out, Naka incredibly low. It'll just take one tap here. Forced to use a dodge, and now going elusive to try to get away. Will retreat all the way back, and all that pressure is lost. Molten Bolt comes flying across the pitch, and it'll be what secures this goal barrier in large part. Grimella trying to keep this up, now trying to get this on over to 3Z. It'll be the energy burst used. The glitch pop comes out, hits the core, but it's the pendulum swing once again from 3Z. You cannot deny the power of this Rasmus primary as well.
Yeah, and I mean, beautiful shot and beautiful use of the pendulum swing from 3Z there, but I want to kind of look back to the Reznok, that core flip there. He waits it out, perfect patience for his shotgun to come up, so he can actually use that to secure the pass to Grimella, Grimella straight to 3Z, and just finding that pendulum swing was key there.
Now Bewitching Beam out of Grimella will secure that last goal barrier, 1-for-1 on both sides of the pitch. You see that turret come out, defends things, splits the map in half for a little while, and now this one slips right around Reznok. Naka looking with a pass over to Snake, but no, can't find it. Kilius trying to use that glitch pop again, the side of the explosion to send it back forward, back to the hands of Snake in Naka. But it doesn't happen this time around. Naka has core flip at the ready, comes out of the movement ability, comes out from the cloak, and pops it right on back. Oxygen Overdrive now to set point to try to equalize things.
Yeah, and I mean, we're kind of seeing it now. After that draft, it seems like Oxygen Overdrive has a little bit more life in him. I don't know if it looks like it to you, but I mean, they're getting goal barriers faster. They're finding, you know, good glitch pops on the side of Kilius and good ults on the side of Kilius as well to just keep Naka and Snake focused on those barriers, keep it away from their own goal. And as we see both of them go down there, beautiful core flip there from Snake, and they're going to have to look to convert and get this set to tie it up at 2-2.
3Z Breezy forced to burn the core flip just to try to send it away and buy some time, but with Reznok so staggered and sent all the way back to the other side of the goal, it's an easy one to the top corner for Snake out of Oxygen Overdrive. Kilius gets the MVP, and we are heading to our final carousel in our 5th set. Again, folks, a tie here, probably what neither of these teams want, but if Oxygen Overdrive wants any hope of staying alive, they need to tie here.
Yeah, and Era actually with the last pick gonna get that chrono, that prime time. You know, those two key that need to be on Era. I'm expecting, yep, the chrono is actually taken up by Rasmus there. Kind of denying his own Era, but I think the Drakkar was going to get it anyway, and it's definitely better on the Drakkar forward there, so we definitely don't want him to have it. However, we do see Reznok with the big fish, so definitely going to help him get a lot more saves, get a lot more presence in that midfield as well with the larger hitbox. And we'll have to see, you know, Grimella kind of getting a little bit screwed over here with these awakenings, but 3Z, I think, looking prime and ready here to keep DUBU strikers in this game and not get reverse swept here. Actually, excuse me, not reverse swept, but kind of felt what feels like a reverse sweep almost, as Oxygen Overdrive is really kicking it into overdrive here and giving it to him.
Right on into high gear here for the O2 squad, but now you see the power play come out as 3Z Breezy sent off the map, but oh no, it's Naka sent off the map as well, and now this one will be all null and void. Core flip comes out. Actually, Grimella slips it right in front of the Imi turret before it gets a single bullet out. Snake pulls it right back into the gravity well, and it goes right on over to 3Z Breezy off of the respawn. It'll be the first goal on the board in this set for the DUBU strikers. They take an early advantage.
Yeah, so beautiful pendulum swing there from 3Z as well to stun Kilius and actually just get that perfect shot into the top corner. Nothing he could have done there, really, as he had no abilities, I assume. And early KO here on the side of DUBU strikers. And great core flip on the side of Kilius. Good save from Reznok to stall a little bit longer, but kind of even matcher. I was expecting him to get a barrier there, but not able to find it as 3Z goes down. And now a power play on the side of Oxygen Overdrive.
Kilius on the 4 KO streak, and now core flip comes out, exchanged here by Reznok, but it still goes down nonetheless, and now Naka able to stuff it through Reznok. Well done there in the Drakkar mirror matchup. It's a 1-for-1 here. Next team to win 2 goals will take this game. And again, as we talked about, both these teams really want this one. At this point, DUBU Strikers looking to separate themselves, heading into the last few matches of the season. And Auction Overdrive needs this to stay alive, or else they might fear falling to relegation.
Yeah, I mean, a tie here definitely going to put both teams at a little bit of a scary place. They're going to have to find 2-0s on their next 2 wins in order to actually find a place in there. But if this goes over to the side of DUBU Strikers, they will be able to, you know, battle for that place, get in that mix, in the soup of teams battling for that that third place. And I say that as 3ZBZ finds a really, really nice KO. Snake now low as well, and a beautiful Maelstrom there from Grimella. They're not done yet, K-Bot.
Well done there in order to send it back. And again, the DUBU Strikers now on match point. If they win here, 2-1-2, pair up with a bunch of other teams sitting right now in a tie for third between 3 different teams where the top 4 make it to playoffs. It'll be all on the line for them if they're able to come away with this one. But again, neither team wants to tie here. Nice core flip, though. Able to come out of 1 and now use that. Now you see the energy burst out of 3ZBreezy, and look how fast this Rasmus goes on the adrenaline rush along with that secondary, able to sneak it right by Naka. And it's the DUBU Strikers that'll take the victory there, advancing themselves even farther and setting themselves up for playoff hopes.
And I mean, you just cannot stop 3Z. He said, enough of this. Enough of this nonsense. We're taking this game right here, right now. Absolutely. Core flips, energy bursts, Kiliast out of his own net into the side of, into the north side of the map there. Nothing he can do to stop it. Just absolutely amazing play there from Grimella and 3ZBreezy and Reznok as well. You know, Auction Overdrive had some life in him, found some good trainings, found the Stinger and the Primetime on the Amy. But with that Amy dead, you know, kind of the place of, kind of the cornerstone of Auction Overdrive, that whole comeback just felt almost killed there.
By the way, so far in the season, 3ZBreezy has been 2nd in KOs per minute and 2nd in damage per minute. It still finds ways to put in the work on Rasmus. Sometimes you consider this Rasmus a core control character, but even still had 11 in that last one. 4 for Grimella for the DUBU Strikers. And again, able to capitalize on some of those power plays, but also be there with those pendulum swings to stuff things back. I mean, Borg, that did not look like a first-time competitive Rasmus player out of 3ZBreezy there. But again, he hasn't showed it so far to us in this league, still showing that he can play it. And maybe it's not all about the Juliet